right, man. Thanks for sitting down and joining us here.
No problem.
Yeah, how have you enjoyed the land so far?
It's been fun. It's been we got in, I want to say like 2:30 in the morning yesterday. We walked in, we saw the venue, and we were like, oh man, it's big, and it's set up pretty nice. Everything's been running real smooth. No real issues, and yeah, it's been great meeting a lot of people, seeing people I've met already before, and even people that I've met online, seeing them as well. So yeah, it's been pretty good.
You're local to the area, right? So
Yes.
This isn't your first Mad City land, right?
No, this is not.
What's it like seeing Mad City grow as a brand and as a land over the years?
Yeah, it's grown like rapidly, and it's pretty big now. I remember the first LAN I have went to in Chicago was at Ignite, and that was like, I want to say 6 teams, and like first place you win a mouse or something like that, some Navi edition mouse.
Yeah.
And it was like $60, and now it's like it's getting big, and like big names are realizing, like Mad City's getting big, and it's cool. It's really cool. I'm happy that's even in Chicago as well, because I don't want to sit and travel everywhere, you know what I mean? So yeah, it's pretty cool. I like it a lot.
Yeah. So your squad, Era, you guys moved up from Maine last season.
Yes.
And you guys, the core of your team's been playing together for a while.
Yes.
But what's it like making that jump from Maine to MDL in terms of tiers of competition?
Yeah, it's definitely, the jump was, so like throughout playoffs, I kind of looked at it as the teams we play in playoffs, like we played in the finals and like the semifinals or whatever, are teams that we pictured, like these guys are going to be in MDL with us, whatever. So like these are, how we can compare ourselves to them. But it's nothing even close to that. Like, when we first started scrimming, these MDL teams, they play super organized, super serious, and they take it serious, which is something I like a lot. I don't like, I don't want to go into a scrim and people are just running around, jumping through smokes, like how typical ESEA pugs are. So yeah, it was definitely a huge jump in adjusting to that, but the scrimming definitely helps a lot. I'll definitely say that it'll help you improve quick, and if you don't improve quick, like you're out of here type of thing. So
it's almost like you get thrown in the deep end, you learn how to swim,
exactly.
and that brings your level.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. Obviously, some people adjust quicker than others, and yeah, it's just how it is.
So you guys have been pretty surprising so far in the MDL season. You're sitting at like 6-5, right?
Yeah, 6
sort of
and
middle
5.
in the pack.
Yeah.
You won the Mad City Online tournament, which that was big. You guys were my upset pick throughout that.
Yep.
I was very happy to see that happen. So what do you think it is about your roster that's allowed you to sort of adapt so quickly to this level of competition?
I always thought this was a major thing that kind of gave us advantage over other teams was our core set of friends. We've been friends for a very long time. I've known them, like, for example, Phantoms, I want to say he's 16. I've known him since he was 9 years old. I would play with his brother in 1.6. So,
wow.
Everyone else I've known for a long time. Sidoff I've known since he was a little kid and I was a little kid. So once we kind of built that friendship, we knew how one would play. We knew each other's tendencies, and we built that chemistry in which, I know what he's going to do, he knows what I'm going to do, and we don't really have to calm that. And that's something that you won't really find with, many teams. As well as, since we are such close friends, we chill with each other, we talk with each other, share personal things, it's never a harsh, no one ever, talks bad about another person, there's nothing like that. Everyone's cool, and yeah, there's really never any issues between us, So I think that gives us an advantage.
On the subject of some of that history and like the roster stability and various things, this has been a season of some change. It's been a season of some instability. At the beginning of the season, you guys brought in Tabs, who's Swedish.
Yes.
How did that come about? How did you get in contact with him? Where did that come from? Where did it come from?
So we needed a fifth. OC wanted to leave. He wanted to play with Ethereum, some of the guys from Ethereum, and we were okay with that. And we kind of agreed prior that he would just help us, basically win Maine, and if he wanted to stay, he could stay. If he didn't want to, it's no big deal. So he decided to leave, and we were looking for an offer for a while. We tried out a couple guys, and we had a couple guys in mind, and ESEA came out with 16 and older rule. So then we had to kind of drop these guys. And I guess Strong Legs decided to make a tweet about it. He tweeted something about, there's an MDL team who needs an opper, and Tabs messaged him saying, I want to play an MDL. Who's the team? Strong Legs told him, and Tabs messaged me. And, at first he messaged me telling me all this FPL, EU Pro, I don't know what. I was like, this is probably some guy who's making stuff up. And, I checked on it, and he wasn't making it up, and we decided to try him out. Once we did try him out, we saw his ping and whatever, and he said, don't worry, it's no big deal. And he wasn't lying. It wasn't a big deal for him at all. He was, he was hitting shots. We were just like, oh my God. And, when he came into the team, he taught us a lot about how EU works, EU this, EU that, and it definitely taught us a lot on just even their mindset it's light years ahead of ours. I'll tell you that right now. We just brought him on board, and certain things didn't work out with him. We kind of changed our play style to adapt towards his freedom, and that's kind of what our partial downfall was. But yeah, it just didn't work out.
Okay, end of the roster, just disagreements over philosophy.
Yeah, we just had disagreements with that, and we just left it at that.
Okay.
So yeah.
I mean, yeah, that in the context of someone playing from Europe, it kind of makes sense.
Yeah. It was kind of like, I'm EU, I feel like you guys should listen to me, and it's not.
Okay.
It doesn't really work like that.
Sure, absolutely. So the next question is, departure of Ben Leet. Give us the story on that.
So he was good friends with he's still good friends with OC, and we kind of just had certain disagreements with kind of how things would be ran, and I believe he got an offer from Ethereum to come play with them, and he basically just decided, you know what, I want to go play with them. So it wasn't like how people made it out to be. People made it out to be like as if we decided we don't want to play with you anymore, screw you type of scenario, and it wasn't like that. It was all totally transparent, and we agreed on things, and we said it's cool, if you want to do that, that's fine, because we're all friends. At the end of the day, we're not gonna take it personal. So.
Okay.
So yeah, that's kind of how it went.
A mutual party.
Yeah, it was a mutual party.
Okay. So I talked about this a little bit earlier, but you guys have been throughout the season and throughout every competition I've seen you in so far. My upset pick, my Cinderella pick to make playoffs.
Okay.
I think there's going to be this trend of teams coming out of Maine more prepared than other teams think they are. And I was a little worried because there's been so many transitions. You've swapped players out. Yeah. There's been change. But right after that Ben Leet swap, you guys 16-8'd Torqued.
Yes.
And that had me right back on the belief train.
So.
Yes. What do you think it is about your team? I mean, you talked about the chemistry that you guys have.
Yeah, so...
But you've just had so much early success.
Yeah, we just... Like I said, it really comes down with, the chemistry and the way we get along. I think that's very important in a team scenario. Because I've been on teams prior to them in which we would get on, we would play. As soon as we're done playing, all right, guys, talk to you later, bye. And then we get on like it's a job, You're not having fun. If you're having fun, laughing, joking, having a good time, no one's yelling at anyone. Everyone's mood is always upbeat, and you just play. You have the confidence. You peak. You kill them. It just keeps building, and it's like a snowball effect type of thing. So I think that's what's something like really I think important that a team needs to have, and we definitely have that in our roster. Even with Juice, we've just started playing with him. Yeah. Literally just started playing with him this LAN, and yeah, we played with him. We tried him out against Rogue 2 days ago, and it just kind of clicked. He's very relaxed, very chill guy, really good player, smart, and that's kind of why we decided, you know what, even though it was kind of last second, we want to play with this guy and finish the season with him because he brings that same type of attitude that we want on a roster. So that's what I think is really important in beating especially good teams. really good teams.
Touching a little bit on bringing Juice into the roster, obviously the big news with your team and your squad moving into this land was the Twiggy dodge, the Twiggy abandoning of the team.
Yeah.
What happened there?
So, long story short, we kind of got on. We had scrims lined up. We had a match actually against Ethereum. We got on, I want to say we got on like 2 hours prior. We were going to scrim one and then play our match. I messaged Twiggy. We were talking about Fortnite, whatever. We were going to play a little before we'd scrim, whatever. And he kind of just went offline. And so he went offline. You know, I didn't think anything of it. And then we're sitting there waiting for scrims, and he's not online. Everyone's online. I'm like, what's going on? He decided to text me. He texted me saying, hey, you know what? Basically, like, I'm quitting this game. Good luck. Like that. There was no cushioning. Just no, it was just straight up.
No indication?
No indication. Zero. And at first I was like, you know, since we're good friends, we can joke with each other on a more serious level and not take it personally. Yes. So I'm like, okay, maybe him and, you know, some people on my team, they're like in cahoots, you know what I mean? And they're like, oh, let's see how Jacob reacts. But I found out quickly that wasn't the case because I kept texting him and my messages weren't even sending through. So he had his phone turned off. And we tried contacting him. Everyone tried contacting him, and he kind of just basically just shut everyone out. And that's literally what happened. So we were kind of like, what the hell? And we were scrambling to find someone, and luckily we found Juice, and so far it's been pretty good.
That's got to be pretty hard. I mean, you've played with him for years.
Oh, I've known him for at least 10 years.
Oof.
I've been to his house.
Yeah.
My cousin bought his computer, his old computer. We literally went to his house, chilled with him, spent the whole day at his house. You know, like, it kind of left me like, what? Yeah. You know? Yeah, it was. I'm still in shock, to be honest with you, about it. I don't know. It is what it is.
How does that affect like the mentality of the team going into a land? I mean, a roster as close as you guys are, that's got to be something that's occupying your mind. How do you move past that?
Yeah, so it's definitely not something to move past easily, but we kind of just, as soon as it happened, you know, maybe 30 minutes passed, and we were just like, okay, you know what, fine, you know, maybe he'll come back, maybe he won't, but we need to be prepared regardless. So we got, you know, prepared obviously with Juice, talked to him a little, yada, yada, yada. And coming into the land, you know, we were kind of just like, well, we'll see how this goes. After meeting Juice, hanging out with him, he's a really cool dude. You know, I have a lot of respect for him already, just based on how his personality is. And his personality is like always positive, and I feel like even though we don't know him, I don't know him that well and like that long, just bringing that alone into a team environment that has that is what, you know, that's what Twiggy would do as well. He would never yell. He would always be like, come on, guys, let's go. You know, we got this. And he kind of does that as well. And so that definitely, I feel like, helps a lot, you know, even in just these three matches. I think the loss that we had against Mask Off, it was good and bad. Bad, obviously, because we lost. Good because it's good to see how a team reacts towards a loss. You know, if a team starts yelling at each other, you're not going to go far. I promise you. I guarantee that. But if you guys, you know, talk about it like, you know, listen, I played bad. I'm sorry. You know, we'll make these adjustments next time we play them. And that's what we did. You know, that's I think, something really positive.
Yeah.
So
something to learn from.
Yeah, exactly.
That's, I mean, I always hear teams talk about how you learn more from a loss than a win.
Oh, I totally agree with that. Yeah. You definitely learn a lot more with a loss than a win, in my opinion.
Well, so I'm gonna pivot a little bit and talk about maybe a little less emotional stuff.
No problem.
Talk about your collegiate CS career.
Okay.
Because you're a scholarship player for Robert Morris.
Yes.
And just sort of, what's it like playing with a collegiate team as opposed to playing with ERA? What's the sort of comparison and contrast there?
Yeah, so with a collegiate team, I kind of, because I'm the in-game leader for them, I kind of bring in everything that I learn playing on the level that I play into the collegiate level as well, and try and teach them as much as possible. This is how this goes, this is how that goes, rotations, this is how you need to rotate without even speaking, because this is just, it needs to be in your mind. That's how you rotate. So yeah, it's definitely very interesting, especially now. Esports is in college is getting really big.
Yeah,
a lot of
pioneering program.
Oh yeah, exactly. So yeah, the only difficult part is kind of trying to balance between the two teams. I basically have to play Monday through Thursday with the collegiate team, like from 3 to 6. 6, go home, get home by 7, and then scrim more with my, with Arrow. So, yeah, that's the only like difficult part. But aside from that, it's constant playing CS. You're just constantly learning. So, I just kind of look at it like that.
Who does the leading for Era? Who does the leading in the server, IGLing?
So, once Ben left, Twiggy was, because we had some other professional friends who kind of said, hey, listen, I think you guys should have Twiggy be IGL. So he tried it. I don't think he liked it that much, to be quite frank.
Yeah.
But we have Crashies now, IGLing, and I kind of help him with that since I've been IGL for other teams in the past couple seasons, and I used to be IGL prior to Ben coming. So, I'm kind of used to that role. So it's kind of, we're trying to test out a whole, like, Crashies will call, and then if he needs help with a in-game, read, I'll help him with that.
Okay.
And I'll say, hey, listen, this is what we need to do. This is how we're going to draw attention here so that we can go here. And that's kind of how.
Okay. And
that's kind of how we're doing it right now.
And on the collegiate team, you're full leading.
Yeah, on the collegiate team, I'm just calling.
And mid-round and everything.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah.
It's interesting to see the contrast there. And sort of how is, the level of competition in college. You talked about how you're bringing elements from the level of competition you experience in MDL to college. Is it a dramatic step? Do you think it's something that'll start to equalize over time, or?
So right now with the gap in the collegiate scene, in my opinion, is kind of big. Right now we're ranked #1 in the nation. And if you compare that to like the lower level teams, it's kind of big. But I think as more time progresses, CSL and the whole collegiate scene will draw in more players who play at higher levels. And that's already been happening, Last year it wasn't as competitive. This year it's even more competitive.
Like you see the market increase.
You could see this team, these guys went and recruited good players, yada, 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 So I think just with time, it'll get a lot more competitive.
Okay.
Yeah.
And do you see the future? I know there's been some talk of like the NCAA trying to get involved in esports. Do you see that as being a natural progression, or do you think it's very much going to be its own animal, the collegiate scene?
See, the thing is with NCAA is you don't get to keep any money. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's kind of something big, in my opinion, in Counter-Strike that makes people kind of want to play, because the collegiate scene isn't like a gateway to playing pro. It's just a collegiate scene right now. So what are the advantages of it? There's scholarships and winning money. So if NCAA isn't involved, you're not winning any money. You're you're not getting anything. So I think it's just gonna be its own animal, like you said. And there'll probably be a league that's gonna be, really big. Probably I think bigger than what CSL is now. And it'll definitely, I think, take over, and it'll just be like that.
Okay. So, looking forward in this tournament in particular, how do you like Era's chances going into it? Obviously, you've been sort of rocked right before the tournament. That really set you guys off kilter. But how do you think do you think you can be able to recover and run deep in this tournament?
Yeah, I definitely think so. Like I said, the loss with Maskoff, I think, helps us a lot in like just teaching us what we need to not do, what we need to adjust. I definitely think we have a good chance at winning it. Like even in the qualifier, we were down against teams. Like we've lost maps 16-2 in the best of threes. I think I forget which team, and then we came back and won both maps. You know what I mean? It was just like our demeanor is just like, well, whatever. We lost 16-2. It's a new map. Let's do it. Let's go. And then this is how it is.
Yeah.
That's just what we do. I don't know. That's the best way I can explain it.
Yeah.
Even throughout main playoffs, same thing.
That mental strength is huge.
Yeah.
The ability to recover from a harsh loss and just press the reset button in your brain to get back to it. I kind of wonder if that sort of mental aspect is a part of what's helped you guys adapt so much.
It's definitely helped a lot for sure. Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you so much for taking the time to talk to us.
No problem.
This has been fantastic.
No problem. Yeah, I've had a great time.
I've been a fan of your guys' playing the server. It's really interesting to get some insight into you as a person, the team in the background. I'm gonna be watching, obviously.
All right.
I'm very intrigued, and I hope to see you guys go deep.
Awesome.
So
thank you. I appreciate it.
Thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you.
And,
no problem.
Best
Thank you
of
for
luck,
having
dude.
me. Thank you. I appreciate it.